Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Days of Decision combined game playthrough. This will be the March-April 1937 turn. Hopefully we can get through a couple of turns. Just wanted to give a quick explanation of the glare you might see on the videos. It's from the lights, and it's caused by the plexiglass that I have over the board. It's basically there to protect the board from dust and dirt and any other things that might get on it. So I put plexiglass over it, and unfortunately there's a little bit of glare from the lights, but it's not too bad. Most of the time I can get the angle so you don't really even see the glare. That being said, let's get right into it. Starting money for this turn for the major powers is pretty bad. Most major powers are in the negative, to say the least. We have Germany at 1 and Japan at -4. I had to make an adjustment to Japan's money from last turn. I didn't quite spend all the money they needed for the gear up, so I made that adjustment, and that's why they're down to -4. Italy's at -1. The Soviets are at -2. The Commonwealth is at -5. The Commonwealth has been building a lot of ships, so that's kind of taking their money down quite a bit. France is at 0. The US is at -1. US's money is being reflected by the fact that they built a couple of really expensive carriers the last two turns. The Lexington and the Saratoga are very expensive carriers. And we have China at 2, the wealthiest of the major powers. I've recorded the bids for the major powers. There are 3 major powers bidding this turn. We have the Commonwealth. They bid 1. We have Germany. They bid 3. Getting in the camera here. There we go. And we have the Soviets. They bid 2. And the Soviets owe for a declaration of war that they reactively did last turn on Persia. So that's the main reason why they're bidding. The Commonwealth bid 1. They're in the 3rd position, which gives them a +3 for a total of 4. The Germans bid 1. They're in the 4th position, which gives them a +2 for a total of 3. And the Soviets bid 2. They're in the 7th position, which gives them a +1 for a total of 3. Now that puts Germany and the Soviets in a tie. If we come over here and look at the political initiative, or the political effectiveness rather, we'll see that the Germans have a political effectiveness of 5, and the Soviets have a political effectiveness of 4. So that breaks the tie in favor of the Germans. So the political order is going to look something like this. Commonwealth with 4 is going to be first. The Germans with 3 is going to be second. And the Soviets with 3 is going to be third. And that will also be the last card. Now the rest of the major powers, the Italians, who did not bid, get a +4, so that's going to put them in 4th. The Japanese get a +3, that's going to put them in 5th. The French +2 will be 6. The Americans +1 will be 7th, and the Chinese will be last. Now let's take a look at what the Commonwealth wants to do with their political position. Commonwealth is going to play international political option number 12, guarantee. They are going to put a guarantee on Iraq because the Commonwealth is somewhat concerned about the Soviet aggression in the Middle East. Give you a quick show of that. As you can see here, the Soviets have invaded Persia. Okay. This option may not be played in a minor civil war, they are not, or that it is at war, they are not, or that it has been declared war on this turn, they are not. They haven't been. the Commonwealth does not already have a guarantee. And the Commonwealth's initiative position is 1, which is lower than Iraq's willpower. Iraq's willpower, as you can see here, is 5. Gotta fix the focus a little bit, but their willpower is 5. So, and the Commonwealth's initiative position is 1, so it is lower. So the guarantee goes through. I will put out the political markers. It is basically half the treaty chart, and for the U.S. entry, and the treaty chart -1 for modifiers for minor countries. So I'll get that done and be right back. Paid for everything. Put the political influence markers out for the minor countries, and now the Commonwealth has to choose a minor to activate. She thought about going and activating Iraq, but there's a 4 Soviet marker in there as well as a 2 Commonwealth, so that's really not that good an idea. So there really isn't a whole lot of good choices for the Commonwealth out there. Scroll around a little bit. I got a -5 in Bulgaria, but it really doesn't do the Commonwealth much good. And there's really nothing in Romania. Yeah, that's really nothing. Poland has a -2 Soviet and a 2 Commonwealth. But again, the problem with that is that Poland has a treaty with Germany, which makes it really difficult to move the marker. You need at least 3 points to drag it away from Germany. Let's see. What else do we have? Portugal's no good. Spain, no. You know, I think what the Commonwealth is going to do is activate Yugoslavia. So I'll gather up the markers, bring them over here to the status display. Let's see what we got. Got 4 for the Commonwealth, 4 for Germany, 1 for the Soviets, and -2 for the Italians for markers total. And I'm not sure if this is going to make a whole lot of difference. Now, the Soviets and the French have a treaty with Yugoslavia. My little treaty chart over here. Alliance. Well, it's not a treaty, it's an alliance. So both France and the Soviets have an alliance with Yugoslavia. I just used the markers to indicate that they do indeed have an alliance. The numbers don't mean anything. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to activate the German one first. That's going to bring it towards Germany, which is going to be this way. So 6 to here, 6 to here, but it's going to be a -1 because it's moving away from the French. So it's going to go here. It's going to cost 3 to go there. And the remaining German point is not enough to move the marker. And I think what we'll do is we'll activate the Italian one. That's going to push it away from Italy. So that'll move it back to its original hex. Then we'll activate the Soviet, 1 point. That's not going to do anything. Now we'll activate the Commonwealth 4. That's going to move it this way. Now that is going to move it away from the Soviet. So it's going to cost an extra point to go this hex, but that's still, that'll be 3 points, and they have 4, so they can actually do that. So the remaining point is basically blown off. So the last thing that the Commonwealth has to do is roll to see if they end the political phase. One political option has been played, but no previous political options have been played. So it's going to be a straight up 1. Let's see. 9 means we move on to Germany. We move the last card marker down. Over there. Germany's up. Let's see what Germany's going to do. Germany is going to go back to her old faithful minor economic agreement. She's going to make an agreement with Sweden. Okay. Make an economic agreement. The major powers initiative must be less than or equal to the minor's willpower. Well, Sweden's willpower is 2. Right there. Sweden's willpower 2, so she passes the prerequisites. The money cost is 4, and there's just a +1 in Sweden itself. So we'll get that done, pay the money, and then Germany will get to activate a minor. Not quite sure who Germany is going to activate. I think we know. I think we're going to activate Turkey. Turkey's got a -4 with a Commonwealth in it, and a -1 Italian marker that we can blow off so it doesn't actually build up to anything that could hurt us, hurt the Italians anyways. So let's grab the markers, take them over to the status display. -4 Commonwealth, 1 Italian. We got to pay the $4 for the German. That puts Germany down to -4. Yay! Everybody's really in the drink now for money, anyways. Okay, got Turkey right in the middle of the status display. We got -1 for the Italians. We'll activate that first. Costs 2 points to move it a hex, so no effect. Now we'll activate the Commonwealth. Here's the Commonwealth's major power marker. So it's going to move Turkey this way. So 4 points. So that'll give 2 hexes. 2 points per hex. 1, 2. That uses that. The last thing that Germany will do, roll a die to see if the political phase ends before we get to the Soviets. That's going to be 1. Need a 1. Going to be -1 because 1 political option has previously been played. I rolled a 4. So we'll move on to the Soviets. Move the last card marker down. We'll see what the Soviets are going to do. Soviets are going to play Soviet option 4. It's war. I've already paid the money for it for last turn. I already put all the markers out. I already did the U.S. entry. I did all that in the turn they reactively declared war on Persia. They don't get to activate a minor, so that's going to be it for the political phase. I'll roll initiative, and then we'll go right to reinforcements and the weather. Okay, initiative came down as 2 for the fascists, 6 for the communists, and 10 for the democracies. Even with the modifiers, the +2 for the fascists, and they can't even get close. So the fascists are going to be made to go first, the communists are going to go second, and the democracies are going to go last. And I don't really think it's worth a re-roll for the fascists at this point. They have nothing going on, so it doesn't matter too much to them. The weather roll was an 8, modified to a 9, which is rain in the Arctic and fair everywhere else. The impulse marker will be moving up 1. And let's take a look at the reinforcements for this turn. March, April reinforcements. See, the Germans get a garrison corps. The communists are going to be getting a garrison corps as army as well. The Commonwealth is getting a convoy point. The U.S. is getting a convoy point. Japan is getting a convoy point. Japan is also getting a combat air group. It's not too bad. That I might actually put that on the board. We'll see for now. They do have no pilots, so I guess I won't put that on the board. The Commonwealth has a tanker point. The Commonwealth has the Edinburgh heavy cruiser going into the construction pool. The United States has a combat air group. We'll put that in the reserve pool. We got a bunch of ships here going in the construction pool. We got carrier Wasp for the U.S. They have a few carriers in the construction pool right now. We have another Italian carrier, the Sparviato, on the construction pool. The Japanese have a carrier, the Shinyo, go in the construction pool. And the Germans have the battleship Bismarck. That will go in the construction pool. So I'll get these on the board and we'll start with the first impulse. The fascists in their impulse, the Italians sent their transport out to the Red Sea and picked up their headquarters. Battle Elgio, or whatever his name is. Whatever that dude's name is, they picked him up. So we'll move on. The impulse marker will move one. We'll move on to the Soviets. My sequence of play here. Port attacks, naval air missions, naval movement, naval combat, no strategic ground strike missions. So we're going to launch a ground strike. This guy right here, 246, it's going to try and ground strike that unit in Tehran. Get some dice. Alright, we got 3 tactical factors. So we need 3 or less to flip the unit over. Now roll the 4. That doesn't do any good. So he'll go back, flip over. Rail movement, non-land movement. We don't really have any land movement at this point. Air transport, paradrops, land combat. Alright, we have 3 factors here for this Iranian militia unit. Okay, he's in mountain, so he's going to be doubled. So it's going to make it 6. We have 4, 8. 18 to 6 is 3 to 1. Okay, we have a 3 to 1. We're going to use HQ support. Give us a +1. And roll the die. On 3 to 1 +1. 7. That's not too bad. Let's be on the assault table, of course. 3 to 1 with a 7. Assault table, 3 to 1 with a 7. It's going to be 1 attacker and 2 defenders. So the Russians will have to lose something. I'm going to say, well, they're going to lose the 4-3, I guess. Not good. But this guy is gone. And we'll occupy the hex. And that's the end of Iran. We'll move the impulse marker up 1. See what the Democrats want to do. I don't really see them doing much of anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the turn. And if anything happens, the one thing that the Democrats are going to do is they're going to move some guys in China over here. It's time to start watching out for the Japanese. I think the Democrats and the communists are going to come to an understanding in China for right now. And the Japanese are definitely more of a threat than anything else. So China's going to move this guy here. I'll move this guy here. He's going to flip over the mountain hex. Communists are going to move this guy here. This guy's going to move here. Going to flip over. And move Mao here for now. I think actually this was supposed to be done in the communist turn. We'll let it slide this time. Move Chang here. And the communists are going to move this guy back to here because we kind of have a understanding with the communists for now. They really can't cooperate or occupy each other's hexes or anything like that until something political is done. But they're both definitely worried about the rather, if I can show you, rather sizable Japanese army on the Chinese border. Plus, there's a bunch of Japanese troops in Manchuria, and as you can see, the Russians really don't have anything out there. It's not, the Russians are kind of concerned about that as well. So at this point, I'll run through the rest of the turn, and I'll interrupt if anything happens, but I don't really think it will. So I'll probably pick up right at production. It's going to be for Germany. She produced 8, saved in oil, started with 4, and she spent 4. She built a pilot and pulled the Bismarck out of the construction pool. Japan produced 5, started with 1, spent 3. She is building a pilot and a convoy point. Italy produced 3, started with 2, and spent 2. She pulled a transport out of the force pool, start the first cycle production on that. The USSR produced 3, started with 1, and spent 4. She's building a tanker point, yeah, and she's building an infantry army, or corps, whatever it is. Okay, Commonwealth produced 5, started with -2, and spent 2. Convoy point, tanker point. France produced 2, started with 2, and spent 3. That's an infantry corps right there. The USA produced 3, started with 2, and spent 2. She's pulling the Wasp for her second cycle out of the construction pool. China produced 1, started with 3, and spent 1. A Chinese garrison division. And I'll get these on the circle, and that will wrap it up for this turn. Production for this turn is